I'd now like to introduce fellow scouts CJ McClure and Casey Simmons. These scouts will give us a description of the medals that Mr. Coe has earned, and for some of them, a personal story behind those medals.
Good evening. My name is Casey Simmons, and this is CJ McClure. We are very pleased to describe for you the medals Mr. Coe will be receiving tonight. In the time Mr. Coe served our country, he earned many prestigious awards for things such as being proficient with a weapon, all the way to acts of heroism and valor. The medal he already received, the Purple Heart, is awarded to those wounded or killed while serving our country with the U.S. military. This is the oldest military award still given to U.S. service members. The predecessor to the Purple Heart was awarded in the Revolutionary War by George Washington, which is why his image is on the medal. Mr. Coe received this award for wounds sustained by grenade shrapnel in April 1971. We will now describe the other awards Mr. Coe earned during his Vietnam service, but is receiving for the first time tonight. The Bronze Star is the fourth highest individual award in the military. It may be awarded for acts of heroism, acts of merit, or meritorious service in a combat zone such as Vietnam. The Bronze Star Medal was established by executive order of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on February 4th, 1944.
The Army Commendation Medal for Heroism with letter B device is awarded to any member of the Armed Forces of the United States other than general officers who, while serving in any capacity with the U.S. Army after December 6, 1941, distinguished themselves by heroism, meritorious achievement, or meritorious service, which has been of mutual benefit to the friendly nation and the United States. The following is the reason listed by the Secretary of the Army in Mr. Coe's service record for the awarding of the Army Commendation Medal for Heroism with letter B device. For heroism in connection with the military operations against a hostile force, Private First Class Coe distinguished himself by heroic actions on the 23rd of August, 1970, while serving with A Troop, 3rd Squadron, 4th Cavalry, in the Republic of Vietnam. On the date cited above, the elements of A Troop were involved in a reconnaissance operation when the lead vehicle detonated an enemy mine, which initiated an enemy attack. Despite being injured by the blast of the mine, Private Coe continued to expose himself to hostile fire as he helped move a wounded comrade from the vehicle. His valorous actions contributed immeasurably to the saving of the life of his fellow soldier. The bravery and devotion to duty exhibited by Private Coe are in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, the 25th Infantry Division, and the United States Army.
The National Defense Service Medal was established by President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1953. The medal was first intended to be a blanket campaign medal awarded to service members who served honorably during a designated time period of which a national emergency has been declared during a time of war or conflict. The Vietnam Service Medal was established in 1965 by order of President Lyndon B. Johnson for those who served between November 15, 1961 and April 30th, 1975 for military service in the geographical theater areas of Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, or Cambodia. Mr. Coe's awards include 3 Bronze Campaign Stars for participation in various campaigns in Vietnam.
The Combat Infantryman Badge First Award is awarded to infantrymen, mechanized infantrymen, and special forces soldiers in the rank of colonel and below who personally fought in active ground combat while assigned as members of either an infantry, ranger, or special forces unit of brigade size or smaller, anytime after December 6, 1941. Not all mechanized infantrymen were classified the same, and the award was based on training as well. Mr. Coe was classified as rank 11 Echo for service on a Shirdian tank. However, others who did the same work were classified as rank 11 Delta, which then made them eligible for this award. Because of Mr. Coe's special training, he had the same duties as those in Delta and should have been qualified for the award. After much paperwork and correspondence with the Army Board of Records, it was discovered that someone had vouched for Mr. Coe, and he was awarded the Combat Infantryman Badge First Award 2 days before leaving the Army, and he is finally receiving his medal.
These next awards are given to soldiers such as Mr. Coe, who have met certain requirements with different firearms. Starting in the late 19th century, the U.S. Army began awarding marksmanship qualification badges to those soldiers that met specific weapon qualification standards. Mr. Coe has earned the sharpshooter badge, automatic rifle bar, pistol bar, and rifle bar. Sharpshooter is the second highest rank of the marksmanship badges, and each bar shows qualification for the specified weapon. In Mr. Coe's case, a .45 pistol, an M14, and an M16.
Lastly, the Vietnam Campaign Ribbon is awarded to any service member who, while serving outside the geographical limits of the Republic of Vietnam, provided direct combat support to the Republic of Vietnam Armed Forces for a period exceeding 6 months. This was awarded by the South Vietnamese government to both domestic and foreign military members. Congratulations, Mr. Coe, on all your accomplishments while serving our country.
Thank you, KCCJ. Now I'd like to ask Eagle Scout Matt Canny to escort Mr. Coe to the podium. This time I'd also like to invite Representative Barrar to come return to the podium for the presentation of medals and awards.
On behalf of the people of our great country and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it's a great honor for me to present you with your medal. Certificates are all framed for you also. Sergeant Coe. You have them all up there on the table. Okay. If you'd like to take a look at them afterwards, we'd love to see them.
Now would Mitch Canny, Jonathan Denbeck, and Glenn Brown escort Mrs. Coe and children Andrew and Allison to the podium for the clinic ceremony. Three of the medals Mr. Coe received came with pins so that they may be worn on civilian attire, even on Mr. Coe's scout uniform. These pins are for the following medals: Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and Army Commendation Medal for heroism with the letter V device. fellow scouts, can you please return the Coe family to their seats? That's Glenn, John didn't mention. Mr. Coe, can you please sit right here? We now have a special seat just for you. For those who don't know, Mr. Coe is part of our, obviously our Scoutmaster Patrol here in the troop, and their patrol name is the Rocking Chair Patrol. So we thought it might be fitting for him to sit in this rocking chair while we're listening to some Scout testimonials. One Scout from each graduating class would like to say a few words to Mr. Coe about the impact he's had on their lives. Representing our alumni scouts is Assistant Scoutmaster Mark Dulick, who will read a letter from his son, Eagle Scout A.J. Dulick.
This is from AJ, Mr. Coe. Mr. Coe, by my calculations, these awards are long overdue. You and I served in vastly different periods of our country's history, but it seems to me that there are parallels between Vietnam and Afghanistan. Many Americans debate the war in Afghanistan and our bigger purpose, just as they did with Vietnam. Regardless, our country's presence in these conflicts brought the purpose of the wars down to a smaller, more personal level for you and me. I know that what you did in Vietnam was exactly what our country needed, and certainly what your fellow brothers in arms needed. In my life, the debate about the bigger picture mattered little. What mattered was that the Americans to my right and left needed me there just as much as I needed them. It's hard for many to understand, but what is certain is your service saved the lives of tens, if not thousands, of more Americans, just as theirs saved yours and mine. That is how your legacy parallels my service. I will not make any claim to truly know how you were treated by Americans back during Vietnam. Just the fact that you were never awarded these medals, that you earned through blood, sweat, and tears, speaks to the chilling way we treated returning servicemen. I was fortunate to be greeted by many proud Americans in Maine when I re-entered the country from Afghanistan. They shared a challenge coin with me and thanked me for my service. This is what a challenge coin looks like. Many of these Americans were Vietnam veterans who never wanted any service member to get the cold, unwelcome return that they received. My squadron left several of our challenge coins there in Maine, and thanks for the baked goods, warm wishes, and challenge coins we received. What I've never been able to do is personally thank a Vietnam veteran, especially one who was so positively instrumental in my formative teenage years. Please accept the challenge coin from me as a thanks for your service. I was also able to fly an American flag aboard the CH-53E Super Stallion helicopter in honor of you and your service. Typically, a certificate accompanies the flag, but this letter should serve as proof that I flew the flag on 3 different occasions during the month of October 2014 in support of the San Francisco Fleet Week. The flag was flown onto the USS America, which is the first of the America-class amphibious assault ships in the U.S. Navy. This was done on October 6, 2014, where it remained on display during the commissioning of the ship until departing on October 14, 2014. On October 14, it flew off the USS America to Pomona, California, where it took a pit stop for 3 days due to an unplanned engine failure. After the flight to its home station in MCAS Miramar, San Diego, California, it was removed from the aircraft on October 17th. The flag spent roughly 10 hours airborne and was viewed by thousands of Americans conducting tours of aircraft during the Fleet Week activities. A picture of the crew that flew the flag on the ship will be provided to you shortly. I can give this. I can give you stuff like this in appreciation for what you have done. But what I really need to tell you is thank you for supporting me and the Boy Scouts for all of these years. I will never forget watching the Eagles game with you via an antenna at the Avondale cabin, or listening to another game on your truck radio on an away weekend. Your support and multiple U.S. Naval Academy camporees was a natural transition for me to the Naval Academy. Further, the structure of Scouts prepared me for life in the military. I remember telling my mom one time that the Marine Corps was just like Boy Scouts, only with rifles. At the time, I don't think I had a firm grasp of the Marine Corps as I made the statement during my initial training. One of the highlights of my scouting career was the high adventure canoe trip in Canada. I remember you got an emergency radio to call in an emergency helicopter since we were in the boonies. We caught fish and lived off the land for a week or so. This would come back and serve me well later when most of the newly minted second lieutenants were walking around with blank, clueless stares to fellow sailors and Marines while we were waiting for directions in the woods of Maine at Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape School. It's known as SEER School. One of the most beneficial skills I learned from you in the Boy Scouts is real leadership. Though teenagers are quite young to develop leadership skills, the foundation that the Boy Scouts provided me has enhanced my military career and personal life. I recently met a 26-year-old who wanted to join the military, but was nervous to become an officer because he had a fear of leading. I didn't think about it at the time, but now realize that at 26, I had over 10 years of leadership experience because of the opportunities presented to me through scouting. Having my first shot at leadership during Scouts instead of during my plebe summer boot camp experience, where we were asked as squad leaders, was definitely beneficial. Mr. Coe, you have touched countless lives through your service both in the military and in Boy Scouts. We can never thank you enough, but taking a night to honor you and your sacrifice is a start. May God bless you and all of our veterans. Your brother in arms, A.J. Dewey. Matt Farr, one of our Tenderfoot Scouts, would like to say a few words to Mr. Coe.
Thank you, Mr. Gould. As a Tenderfoot, my journey to scouting under Mr. Coe's guidance was just beginning. Prior to making the decision to join Troop 31, I visited all the local troops. To be honest, when I set out, I really wasn't sure what I was looking for. I knew I wanted to have fun, hang out with some cool kids, and learn some stuff. But I also knew I wanted to stay safe. So I definitely didn't want to camp out to turn into a Lord of the Flies sequel. During my search, it was obvious that each troop reflected the personality of a scout master. After stumbling into Hillsdale last winter, I finally knew that this troop was the troop I wanted to join. I felt very welcomed by all the scouts and the adult leaders. I really liked the energy of the group and strong leadership, all guided by the steady hand of Mr. Coe. After nearly a year now and many great adventures, I do know I have made the right decision. I look forward to many more years of scouting with Mr. Coe and Troop 31. Thank you, Mr. Coe, for everything you made to do this experience, to make this experience so great. One day I can only hope to be the type of mentor and leader you are. And now I'd like to introduce Star Scout Hunter Courtney.
Thank you, Matt. Hello, my name is Hunter Courtney. I'm a 7th grader at Charles F. Patton Middle School. Currently, I am a Star Scout, and I joined Troop 31 in 2013 when I crossed over. When I was crossing over, I had 3 troops to pick from. Those 3 troops were 31, 22, and 142. I went to each troop's open house, and when I attended Troop 31's open house at Avondale, I was completely surprised. When I got to the cabin, I was introduced to some of the older scouts by Mr. Coe. He told me to stay with them until he was ready to talk to the younger scouts. His talk encompassed what we should expect from scouting, troop's history, and why we should join Troop 31. That first impression of Mr. Coe led me to join Troop 31. What I remember about Mr. Coe and what has left a lasting memory with me happened early on when I was a scout. We were going on our first Bring Your Mind canoe trip, and we were all a little nervous. I was with my dad. A good friend who was going through a difficult personal time didn't have an adult partner. Mr. Coe, without hesitation, stepped right in and offered me his boy's partner. We hardly knew him, but it didn't matter. He was a boy who needed some help, and Mr. Coe was right there. That is Mr. Coe. Even when this boy decided to leave Scouts, Mr. Coe placed a phone call to him, letting him know that he was always welcome, and that should he decide to return, he could pick up right off where he left. Another thing about Mr. Coe is that he doesn't tolerate bullying of any sort. I remember an instance where some kids were bothering another kid, and that kid got very frustrated. One scout wanted to tell Mr. Coe, and within minutes, Mr. Coe picks it up. He doesn't yell, but he takes it very seriously. Mr. Coe has impressed me in the year and a half that I have been with Troop 31. This was dedicated and committed to each and every one of our success. One way he commits to our success is by making sure we're doing things right. He makes sure we clean our muskets in the right way and that our tents are set up properly. If there's something wrong, he'll help you fix it. He doesn't do it for you, but guides you instead. Let me end by saying thank you, Mr. Coe, for your leadership and for inspiring each and every one of us to be a better person to make a difference. I would now like to introduce Star Scout Sujat Ali Khan.
For those who don't know me, my name is Jiang. I'm a Star Scout and I've been with the troop for 3 years. Those 3 years have been full of fun and hard work, and all of these 3 years have been under the excellent leadership of Mr. Jiang. He is smart, caring, and definitely has a sense of humor. He is a great leader and a great friend. If I ever had a question or concern, he would be there to listen and advise. I remember after the first few outings with Mr. Coe, I noticed he was playing a board game called Cell at the time, often with my brother or Cole Driver. I became interested and Mr. Coe showed me how to play. When I first played, I did so many things wrong. I didn't know how to build things, how to get resources. I didn't know that when you're done your turn, you must say, okay, I'm done. Called a peppy from Mr. Coe but it taught me better communication skills, and with his guidance, I learned and rarely make that mistake again. Often, I would walk up to ask him a question, and I would hear him tell me a story about his time in Vietnam. I remember some of the stories, and some others I don't. But I noticed that he did some pretty amazing things back then, things that I could probably never do. But he wasn't recognized for what he did when he came back stateside. Nobody appreciated what he or the others that went to Vietnam had been through, but now we can give him a proper welcome home. I said 5 things about Mr. Coe that describes him and his personality. First, he's a great leader. He knows what and what not to do, and I'm glad he is our scoutmaster. Second, he listens. If there's a problem, he will always listen to whatever you have to say. Third, he's a teacher. Katan is one example of the many things he's taught me alone, and not to mention all the other scouts. Fourth, he guides. Mr. Coe will walk you through any problem, step by step, and he will make sure you understand. And fifth and finally, he's a friend. He's funny, and if you sit down and open your ears, he will tell you stories and tips. He is a great man who has gone through many hardships through his life, and we're all glad to say he is our scoutmaster.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Raymond. I'm a freshman at Unionville High School right now. So I've known Mr. Coe for 4 years now, and they've been very important years in my life. I think Mr. Coe is a great leader, and he can get everyone's attention when he needs to and get all the work done for a certain outing. Mr. Coe has always been there for me when I was confused with the topic or just had a regular question. But no matter what, he answered or helped me with my difficulty. I remember my first year going to summer camp at Camp Horseshoe. One night, everybody was talking, playing cards, or just hanging out. And Mr. Coe was with us, so a couple of scouts and I asked him about some of the stories of his military career. He told us about a story how when he was in a tank once, the tank had almost gone off a cliff and he saved it by driving it away. He also told me about how there was a booby-trapped camp that he went to and nobody realized it till the last second, which saved everybody's lives. These stories were the best I had really ever heard. It really made me appreciate him even more than I already did. I wish everybody would be able to get to know Mr. Coe the way I was able to, so they could see what a great man he was. I would like to introduce Life Scout Robbie Maxwell.
Hello. My name is Raymond, and I'm a Life Scout. I've been in Troop 31 for 5 years and I've learned so much during that time. For example, I learned how to help others to the best of my ability to set up camp. I wouldn't have successfully learned these skills to the extent that I have without helping my Scoutmaster, Mr. Coe. Mr. Coe has been there to support each member of our troop whenever we have needed his help, whether it has been for a scout-related issue or not. He entertained us around the campfire with all the great stories. We would never get bored talking to him. I really appreciate the dedication, not only to the service to our country, but in the service to the local community. There are many valuable ways in which he could be spending his free time, and yet he chooses for years to spend it with us, helping young men in the area become great scouts. Mr. Coe has inspired and encouraged us to have self-discipline and self-respect, and I'm honored to be led by such a strong role model. Thank you, Mr. Coe. I'd now like to introduce Eagle Scout Jonathan Lynn.
Hello. For those that don't know me, I'm Jonathan Benton, and I've been in the troop for 6 years, and have recently earned my Eagle Scout rank. Since the day I've joined the troop, Mr. Coe has been with me. He makes everyone in the room feel welcome and tries not to exclude anyone. He gets to know you on a personal level and helps you as much as he can, especially during your first year at summer camp when the homesickness sets in and invites you to play a game of Settlers at a time. You get so focused on beating him that you forget your troubles, but sadly victories are rare. Mr. Coe is also always livening up the mood with his comic relief. As I was learning how to canoe, Mr. Coe just talked to me about falling into the water. For those who don't know, the Brandywine Creek has a lot of branches that jut out into the river. On one of those canoe trips, Mr. Coe was just floating down the creek when he ran into one of those branches, knocking him into the water. It was quite a sight, one of the funniest things that my 12-year-old self had seen. He then proceeded to cut down the branch with his handy pocket saw. Mr. Coe's leadership style has reflected on me throughout the years. He's very hands-on style of leadership and is fully committed to anything that he puts his mind to, and he sees everything through to the end. He tries to help out as much as he can, and he's always the first one up in the morning, as the leader should be. And no one can sleep through his booming voice, saying, "Come on, guys, let's get up!" Can't see. And you turn over and you act like you didn't hear it, but in the end you have to get up. But I had the pleasure of working with Mr. Coe at summer camp this year, because I was the senior patrol. And I can tell you this, I learned more about being a leader than all the training that I've had throughout my scouting career. And for that, Mr. Coe, I'm happy to have you as my Scoutmaster. And now I would like to introduce Eagle Scout Mitch Candy.
Leave or age out. They've left memories and examples I'd like to follow, but none of them live up to the example and memories that you've given me. I originally did not enjoy Boy Scouts. I went more so for the camping, not so much for the rank advancements. And I didn't enjoy the fact that Camp Horseshoe had its own weather pattern, and now I work there. Merit badges bored me, and I wasn't really interested in the program. Well, that would change in 2010 when a certain event happened in my life that really got me in gear. I never realized how much I really enjoyed scouting until I came back home. And that's when I really started realizing what an incredible man Mr. Coe was. I saw how far my brother had gone, and I realized that I wanted to catch up to him in terms of advancement. Through the help of Mr. Coe, I earned merit badges and ranks, and in no time, I made a comeback. I have always viewed Mr. Coe as a role model and a leader, and as I got older, I was inspired to take more and more leadership opportunities within the troop. My relationship with Mr. Coe really began to strengthen when I went through NYLT and I assumed the role of SBL for the troop. He taught me that I should always put my best foot forward, to learn from the past, and use that knowledge to better improve myself, and what servant leadership really meant. Through the countless emails that we've sent to each other and the plans that we made at all the PLCs, I learned something every day and every meeting, even when I thought I knew it all. I've learned a lot from working with you. I can honestly say that I would not be the man that I am standing in front of all of you. And without you, I certainly would not have earned my Eagle Scout. Without your support and the motivation you gave me, and you've been a mentor to me, my brother, and the entirety of the troop. Both past and present, we can't thank you enough. You're an amazing Scoutmaster, a mentor, and most of all, a friend. Thank you, Mr. Coe. And I'd like to introduce Eagle Scout Matt Candy.
Dear Mr. Coe, our paths first crossed in March of 2008, when I first joined Troop 31. Since all those years ago, we have seen a lot of change in our time here at Troop 31. We have seen Scouts come and go, we have seen SBLs and ASBLs lead our troop to the very best of their abilities, and we have seen the craziness that is Troop 31. Whether it be fitting 4 people into a canoe and having one of them jump out and capsize the entire ship, hiking the countless miles at the 2010 Jamboree, or playing Settlers of Catan. There are a few things that have remained constant during my times as a scout at Troop 31. These things are fun. We always know how to have a good time here at Troop 31. Adventure. There is never a dull moment here. And lastly, you, Mr. Coe. You've been with us since the day I first joined Troop 31 and a constant role model in my life. You have always inspired me to do my best, to never give up, and to learn from past mistakes. From when I first earned the rank of Scout up till I earned my Eagle, you've been with me every step of the way. You've always pushed me to work harder, do better, and most of all, be a servant leader. Way back in 2009, when I first took a leadership position in the troop as Den Chief, and all the way up until I served as an ASBL for the troop and an SBL at Science Camp. You're with me every step of the way, and I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for me. We first took a step down the path of leadership on the Gettysburg bike trip, when you made the little 3-pack that was Alex, Andrew, and I take Den Chief training for 3 hours, which was the epitome of fun. We've been working together ever since then, and we've tackled many challenges over the years. When we duked it out with Mother Nature at Science Camp, not once, not twice, but all 3 times that we were there. And finally, serving as one of your assistant Scoutmasters. For countless years, you've been a role model not only to myself, but to so many young men that have been in Troop 31. When we first met, I knew right from the start that I not only found a mentor, but a friend as well. Thank you, Mr. Coe. On behalf of all of the alumni of Troop 31, I would like to say welcome home, Mr. Coe. And lastly, Mr. Coe, as we all know, no Scout gathering would be complete without a skit. For your entertainment and pleasure, several of our assistant Scoutmasters have put together a skit just for you, Mr. Coe. The skit shows how important it is to always practice the Scout motto, be prepared.
have your attention, please. Will VIP Airlines Flight number 1 to Washington, D.C. is now ready for boarding at gate number 1. This looks like a very impressive passenger roster here. I think this is the President of Russia. You have dust. Whatever that means. You have seat number 1. Now, this gentleman looks very familiar to me. He is the Secretary of Defense for the United States. Welcome aboard, sir. Thank you. You have seat number 2. Wow. Be dazzled by the beauty. This is the most beautiful woman in the world. Your beauty overwhelms me. You're fogging my glasses. You have seat number 3. Now we have, welcome aboard. My pleasure. This is the smartest man in the world. Is it true your IQ is 1,000? Wow. I can't believe that. 1,000. How can that possibly be? That's better than the Cray supercomputer. I am just floored by that. Welcome aboard. You have seat number 4. Oh, here we go. I think I know you. You're with Troop 31, right? This is Bobby the Boy Scout. Welcome aboard, Bobby. You have seat number 5. All passengers on board, okay. We will be going out to the runway shortly, and just make sure you button your seat belts. Click, want to hear that click? And there is also the safety placard near your seat, so please read that. It's very important. Control tower. This is the captain of flight number 1 of VIP Airlines. We are ready for takeoff. This is a beautiful day for a flight down to Washington, D.C. The visibility is excellent. The wind velocity is very low. Ideal flying conditions. We're ready for takeoff. Well, we're off the ground. Everything looks great. Wow, what a beautiful day. What's this? What do I see? There is a flock of birds. Where did they come from? Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't believe this. We're headed right for them. And up! Bird strike! Bird strike! Emergency! Emergency! We have to really bail out right now. Oh no, we have another major problem. There are 6 of us and there's only 5 parachutes. What are we going to do? Oh my gosh, okay.
Where's your banners? Ladies first. As the most beautiful, the world needs beauty and eyes. The most beautiful woman in the world should have the first parachute. I deserve the first. Thank you.
All right, don't forget to pull the ripcord. Yell out, Geronimo, and that should help you on the way down.
I must have a parachute. I'm the president of Russia. Plus, I will give you oil and vodka.
Oh, you said give me oil and vodka. Oil is very cheap these days.
So I'll give you more.
Oh, no. He's got his parachute. He's off. Up. Here we have
Secretary of the Navy, I have to ensure that the nation is defended. I need a parachute.
Oh, he's off. Oh no.
I need a parachute too. The world needs me to do the things that all the smart people do.
Oh boy. All right, take it. He's off. All right. Looks like Bobby the Boy Scout. It's the two of us. You and me. We only have one parachute. So I'm going to have to give you that parachute and I'll have to go down with the plane.
No, that won't be necessary. The smartest man in the world jumped into my backpack.
As a token of our esteem and affection for you, the troop has a few gifts. First, we'd like to present to you this medal display case and flag flown over the United States Capitol and framed certificates. We hope that you will display these in a special place in your home and enjoy them for the years to come. On the side table, we have a picture frame with signable mat, and we'd like everyone here to sign it. In the center, we'll put a photograph from this evening's celebration so you'll remember this special night.
Together with your family, we'd also like to present you a very special gift. The story that you wrote for your service in Vietnam is a very personal one for you, and we felt that it should be bound in a fitting for a memorable way.
If we could just read the dedication really quick. To our loving soldier and scouter, this may be your book, but we dedicate these pages not to the horrors of its memories, but to the courage and honor of your actions in spite of them. Love, Cindy, Andrew, and Allison. I'm going to go off script here for a second, and the person who I'm going to honor here is going to hate me for it because we're running short on time. But I think it's very important that we recognize the person that's most responsible for us all being here this evening. When she heard that Stephen Barrar, Representative Barrar, was trying to get my dad the rest of his medals, she really took the ball and rolled with it with her dedication and enthusiasm and ideas, and she brought a whole bunch of great people together to make this evening happy. If we could get the most beautiful woman in the world, Lucy McClure, to come up. This is a small token of our appreciation for everything that she's done this evening.
Some flowers, but I don't know which one it is. I'm going to assume that it's that. But. Mr. Coe, would you like to say a few words?
My son told me, I knew this was going to happen. I just never had any idea the scope of it. And this has really kind of blown me away. I wouldn't imagine it would be half this size. So I'm humbled by so many of you who have turned out tonight. My son did mention that I'd be asked to give a few words, so I wrote down a couple of things and I want to share with you. But first, I'd like to thank Representative Barrar and also Congressman Pitts, who helped out and all the other dignitaries who are here tonight. I want to thank the color guard. You guys are terrific. I really appreciate you coming out. Also want to thank all the young ladies over there. You ladies are very good. I really appreciate it. All my family, who a lot of them came from a very long ways away. I really appreciate you guys coming up from all the way from Washington. A few of my guys from Purple Heart are up here. We have scouts from all over the county. Guys, I really appreciate you guys all coming out. It's heartwarming. 43 years ago, I would not even imagine something like this. We were getting a far different reception in those years. I doubt if any Vietnam veteran can imagine this type of reception. Perhaps the wait has made it even sweeter. I doubt if it comes as any surprise to anyone here that it's very difficult for me to talk about the war. My dad was a B-29 tail gunner in World War II. And he and I talked about this the other day because we both share this problem. And we both feel that it's difficult because we went through so much trauma that the memories seem like they were made last month. War truly is the gift that keeps on giving. That being said, I was trying to share one thing with you tonight because there's a reason behind my long tenure in scouting, but it happened in Vietnam. My first duty station in Vietnam was a place called Cu Chi, which was located by 25 miles northwest of Saigon, or what they now call Ho Chi Minh City. It's also close to the Cambodian border. The camp was pretty good size, so big that it was noted for a Viet Cong, our enemy, occasionally tunneling under it and coming up in the middle of camp by mistake. Today, this camp is a museum, which is called the Museum of the War of American Aggression. And it features lots of the tunnels they used during the war. They were extensive and large and sometimes had hospitals and other facilities in them. And my job was to work with the 3-Quarter Cavalry trying to find the enemy. And despite all those tunnels, they were still tough to find. We did recon work on our tracks, did on foot. We set up booby traps. We did night ambushes. Sometimes we worked with infantry units, sometimes we worked with the South Vietnamese Army, and sometimes we got ambushed. After about 3 months there, I'd already barely escaped death about 4 times. I'd been blown up, almost tripped a booby trap in a VC village, had a sniper put a bullet through my hair, and had a bullet ricochet above my head off the side of the track. I was nervous. About that time, I had the only chance while I was over there to attend a church service. I use the word church loosely. It was basically a service held in a bunker area. And during that service, I remember silently praying to God that if He got me out of there alive, I would do anything He wanted me to do. Well, as you know, I got out alive, albeit with several other very close calls, as well as getting wounded during the remaining 9 months. So I really did feel like I needed to get back. But I did not know what. For over 20 years, this death haunted me. I kept waiting for something to say, this is it. Well, that day finally did arrive. I got involved with scouts when my son was a cub, and I had sworn I would never go camping again. I spent over 310 nights out in various miserable locations in Vietnam that had destroyed any interest in camping that I ever had. However, when my son became a cub, with my encouragement, I felt compelled to help. I strongly believe that if we're going to bring children into this world, we have a duty to be part of their life. So I helped the Cubs, and then became assistant scoutmaster when he went to Troop 31. This was not easy at first. For a long time when I went to the woods, I did not see trees, I saw places with snipers. Spent way too much time getting past this obsession. But I did not let it make me quit though. And after about 3 years, while on an outing, it suddenly dawned on me, like a light coming on in the closet, this is what I'm supposed to do. The rewards I have received are immense. I am doing something I really enjoy and helping people too. And so it's become an honor and privilege to serve as your Scoutmaster, and it's an incredible honor to have you honor me with this program tonight. I can't begin to thank you so very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Ian Mears, and I am an Assistant Senior Patrol Leader with the troop. It is my pleasure to invite up once again Assistant Scoutmaster Mark Dolick and First Class Scout Thomas McCoy for the benediction.
In gratitude for Mr. Coe and for continued blessings on him and his family, let us bow our heads in prayer.
May the Lord bless and keep us safe. May He grant us strength to live through troubled times. May He fill us with grace equal to every need and His peace which surpasses all understanding. May He grant us the wisdom and the will to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with Him. And may He surround us with His love and lead us in the paths of everlasting life. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. And thank you, Mr. Coe.
Mr. Coe, your bravery and valor in combat deserves greater thanks than any of us here tonight could express. To many, you are more than a scoutmaster. We look up to you as a leader and role model. Your bountiful donation of time and leadership to this troop are just a few of the many commendable exploits you've bestowed upon us. Mr. Coe, on behalf of the troop, I would like to take the time now to convey our sincere thanks for your brave service in our country's time of need. We thank you for your active service to the war cause and your time and effort in leading a fantastic troop. Congratulations, Mr. Coe. I would also like to thank everyone who came out tonight in support of Mr. Coe, including all the speakers and our honored guests. Troop 31 Scouts and Assistant Scoutmasters, after the ceremony, Mr. Denbeck would like to take a group picture with the Coe family following the American finale. Please come directly to the stage area after the performance and do not leave the stage until the picture has been taken. I would also like to remind everyone here to visit the memorabilia table over to the left and view the slideshow. Also, it would be much appreciated if everyone would sign the picture frame mat located near the memorabilia table, which will later contain the picture of our troop and the Coe family. Food and drinks will be served following the ceremony. We ask that 2 lines be formed and split on either side of the table. Again, thank you to all for making this a very special welcome home celebration for Mr. Coe.